Hi chat. Welcome in everyone. Hello JK. Hello Will Poker. Let's see who else we've had check in here. Hello Nan Reader. Hello, they can see me. Welcome. Coffee time. No, I'm not in Boston. I am in Sonoma County, California. Hopefully all of you are having a lovely start to their week. Happy Wednesday, everyone. I've made fish and chips a couple of times. I think I've actually done it 3 times on stream, at least that I remember. Specifically like fried fish and chips, like actual fried fish and chips. Not like the meme I posted in Discord a week or 2 ago of canned tuna fish, Pringles, and a can of Arizona green tea. Hi Cosmic. For having too much time, it sure seems to go away too quick. No, I just have too much time, yet it seems to disappear, is what I was saying. Bananas. Actually, chat can't see the bananas. There's a pile of bananas on the counter here. There's a pile of bananas on the counter. I'm gonna make banana bread tonight, even though those are a little ripe for, or underripe for banana bread. I'm gonna make banana bread. Radioactivity. Potassium. Who doesn't love a little radioactivity in their life? Yay for bananas. Calm down, body. I don't need to cool down that much. That would be coffee. I start every stream by making myself a nice cup of coffee. I generally prefer a light roast, but I've been enjoying dark roasts a lot more lately, to be honest. Well, the thing is, they can see me, is I use half and half as my primary dairy in the house, not just for my coffee. Because the reality is if I just use half and half for my coffee, it goes bad before I finish a pint. So, vast majority of the time when a recipe calls for milk products, I use half and half. Unless it's something that needs that extra fat, like a cream, I can just add a little water and you essentially have the same thing as milk. The acidity thing is much a myth. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Hopefully you've had an awesome Wednesday. Cheers. Because this is both true with acidity and caffeine. Where when you're roasting a bean, a light bean technically has more acid and more caffeine. However, and then they say the dark roast has less acid and less caffeine. Yes. But by weight? Not really, because at the same time that you're roasting out that caffeine and that acid, you're roasting out weight and size in that bean. And so it actually breaks out relatively even between light and dark roasts how much acid and caffeine is in the final product. I don't believe I can, Pentoad. If I could, it wouldn't be with the brand that I most prefer of the local dairies. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if there's some dairy out there that does it. Though, I mean, when I look for what I think the average American is buying, I actually look at more like the Safeway, Walmart, what they carry in their dairy case versus where I commonly shop as far as getting my half and half. They don't carry that. It's way too local for them. And you look at the dairy container of a Safeway, at least my local Safeway, and there's at least 2 doors of just like different creamers and flavored stuff, and they're not like pints, they're like half gallons or gallons. I don't understand. Like, I understand people criticizing how much Americans put dairy in their coffee after both serving coffee and yeah. I used to serve coffee at farmers markets, and it would irritate me no end. You know, that pint of half and half cost me $4. I'm serving $2-3 coffee, and people have the nerve to like pour out part or half their coffee or even more and refill it with the half and half that I've got there. Used to drive me nuts. But you gotta keep a friendly face. You gotta be friendly to your customers. Even if they're ripping you off left and right. Oh, hey. You could maybe want to see the cutting board there, huh? Yep. Yep, Penta, that's exactly what they would do. Though the one that really got me with those, like that I get, like, you know, with Starbucks generation drinking nothing but milk and thinking it's coffee. Or worse, it's like whipped cream and thinking it's coffee. That's because it's not the full quote, JK. in matters of taste. Ever had gin they can see me? It's one of the most dominant flavors. Actually, I use roughly somewhere between 26 and 28 grams ground. Let's see here. How much sugar to how much banana is this ratio? And it's brown sugar. I should have thought that. And hope that I have brown sugar. Arg. Forgot I had that. It's brown sugar, so we'll use turbinado. Yeah. Just get yourself, like, it's an investment. I've had mine for over 2 years now, so I mean, it's probably okay at this point. Cost versus, I mean, it was a gift though too, but why am I getting a coffee filter out? I'm talking about coffee. You can toy with salt, and very small amounts of salt can improve coffee, but most likely small changes in the way you brew it will change the flavors more than that little bit of salt. Like, even though I mean, I don't do an exact science with mine, but even though I'm weighing mine and weighing the water compared to the amount of coffee that I'm putting in there, which I do somewhere in the ballpark of 25, 26 to maybe 28 grams of coffee, and then I add 400 grams of water on top of that, which it's water, so it breaks out to milliliters if you want it. And of course this former ladle isn't exact measure. But it's a ballpark 3/4 cup. Maybe a bit heavy. But I have a little cutesy conical grinder that has been treating me well for a while now. It's the right thing to get it started, and we'll definitely need that later, but I'm moving over to a whisk here. Wow, that reads weird. Mine's set to 205. The exact temperature can actually vary considerably the final product you have, and some lighter roasts, well, the lighter roasts you actually want to go higher and hotter, and the darker roasts you don't need to go as high and hot. Yeah, we're getting there. We're down to probably my last small thing. That's why I threw away the plastic on top of this. But I've reused the plastic a couple of times. It's done for anyways. But I'll look at the other stuff there. If I've got enough other stuff, I might just buy a couple of bags from the stores before going back to the mill, for lack of a better term. Let's see, what am I forgetting? What am I forgetting? I was thinking there was some dairy in this too. Hey, Farrell. No vanilla. Though I could be convinced to throw some bourbon in there. Working on banana bread, which isn't very bacony, but if you can see there in chat, it's on the way to making part of dessert. This is what we call a partially cured pan. I left it in the oven with obviously some water and fats on it, and so it didn't cure 100% evenly. It looks sort of cool though. Sort of like those Damascus blades that everyone's trying to sell on YouTube and elsewhere. You know, like, looks sort of cool, sort of pointless in modern day. It's not only a pie, it's a custard pie. Disagree with me. You can start, if you want to disagree with me, start by naming a cake that has a crust on the bottom most of the time. Which was sort of what I said in the Discord. So we have our buttered pan. And we have dough that obviously needs a little bit more mixing in order to get all that flour hydrated. I mean, I don't want to overmix it, but it's weird that I almost feel uncomfortable making a quick bread when, like, junior college I went to before the Culinary Institute, like, this was bread and butter what I was doing in the baking area. Different quick breads. The chat talks about cheesecake. I had nightmares about cheesecake for years after that place. People love cheesecake until you have to try and make all your cuts out of them and plate them for service. I tried just about everything I could think of at that point for cutting cheesecakes. Cheese wires, all sorts of stuff. For the record, hot, warm knife with Bain Maria water is about your best bet. Replace the water regularly. Yeah, that story deserves one, Michael, but I don't have one for it. So there is our banana bread ready to go in the oven. Oven is heating up. I guess I got a few extra bananas left over. Not putting the flour away. I bought bacon. I bought thick cut bacon according to the butcher or meat packer. Oh yeah, all the time, Penton. Not for this. Not for quick bread. There is going to be a roux tonight. Eventually. Why did I get that out? I need a pan. Well, I guess I need both out. Speaking of parchment, now most certainly, I mean, I've been served hunks of just pure bacon. But this is sliced. That one's a little thin, but pretty decent thickness on those slices compared to most bacons. The end caps on this one aren't the thickest. but the rest of it's pretty good. Cutting on this board is not the best plan. I should have cut it prematurely when it was a whole slab, but because the rest of it doesn't matter if it's in half either. I think we do one more slice for that. Well, bacon itself has gotten incredibly expensive from what it used to be. It's like most things in the meat and food world. If it's edible, like first it gets discovered, and it's like, if it's not locally, it's internationally sold as like a delicacy or something exotic, even if it's plain Jane. And then it gets boring. It becomes incredibly cheap, and bacon and ham hocks and hocks of all type, pork hocks, beef hocks. Someone was mentioning oxtail the other night. They're all things that were incredibly cheap and now are sort of like being rediscovered as having great flavor. And bacon has sort of made that peak until the point that, you know, we're making, you know, bacon weave everything. And now it's sort of dying down now. Like, tomatoes were a peasant food once. Period. I guess we can just leave that separate. One time, majority of people, I mean the scientists didn't, but at one point people associated tomatoes with nightshade and therefore thought they were somewhat poisonous. But it was sort of like, I believe that was sort of like how some people don't trust anything. Like, you hear people talk about it from science aspects, and like the scientists knew it was fine to eat, but they're not going to sit there and tell the royals what to do. zoom left. Wow. It recognized it, beeped everyone in chat, and then didn't change the scene. Way to go! Voice commands. The handles have seen all sorts of heat. I don't know why I still worry, but I still try and block them from getting direct flame. These handles, I forget the term for them, but the old school high heat plastic, or sort of plastic that they used on everything. So we're heating up a pan here, and we're going to add some bacon in there. Actually, we can go ahead and add the bacon in there because we need it to render. The whole point is we're going to be rendering this fat. And someone mentioned a roux. I will be making a roux, but I will not be making a butter roux. We're going to be using bacon fat for our roux. Throwing bacon and banana bread in the oven. Take a look at that in 20 minutes. Normally I cook my bacon at 400 degrees. If it's thick cut, around 18 minutes. However, this is 350, so I'm at least giving it 20. Probably gonna need more than that. Probably gonna need a bit more than that. Though if it's not thick cut at 400, you can start checking it at like 15 minutes if you got, your typical standard American bacon. This is sort of like double thick. You see, chat doesn't remember back when I butchered whole pigs or half pigs on stream. And, actually, cured my own bacon. That happened before. I was also using my own lard for a long, the lard I rendered for a long time. Um, eat good fats, don't eat bad fats, is about where I'm at with it. Eat more good fats to your bad fats. Fat is most certainly flavor. It's also high calories. Oh, it's not by chance they can see me. It's, you know, like everything in the store is engineered to be that perfect size that, you know, it's just a little bit more than you want. Render the fat, Yogi? If you have fat, like, the best parts of the fat you're never going to probably find. They're already going to be turned into the lards and stuff you can buy in shelves. But there is, like, there's fat on the inside, like, insulating their organs. That is the caul fat. And that you can do this with all fats, but it's primarily done with caul fat. You can chop that up and cook that, and that solid fat, much like if you put Crisco in a pan, melts to a clear liquid that you can then, there might be some scraps you can strain out, but typically it'll melt completely to nothing. And that is rendering. It's like the fat version of boiling. You're turning that solid into a liquid. Can you even buy a 6-pack roll of anything anymore? I was gonna say toilet paper, but like, I don't think I can even buy 6 packs of kitchen towels. They used the wrong term for the fat. Now you got me wondering which is which. Yeah, I did use the wrong term for that. Thank you for pointing that out to me. Caul fat, CAUL, is like a thin membrane fat that is sometimes used to wrap roasts and stuff like that. Like you said there. I'm trying to remember, what is the... leaf fat. The leaf fat of a pig or any animal is typically what's used for it, because it's all the other fats are like intermixed with mussels, and like it's just the most like cleanest. not a huge bivalve fan, but I've done some seafood on stream with clams and mussels. I've done clams and mussels. I don't remember if it was on stream or not. Eggs and bacon are just best friends. Like, it doesn't matter what culture, what cuisine. Well, okay, I take that back, India. Muslim. But, I mean, eggs and bacon, I mean, you can put eggs and bacon on a burger. But, you know, carbonara was the first thing I was thinking. I immediately went to, you know, okay, Italians would do that and that. Americans, we love our eggs and bacon. Good old farm food. I believe the saying, they can see me if it grows together, it goes together. Works for veggies too. Hey, Rowdy Patty. Whoa, JK, keep it PG. Render already. I guess we can get started with our pastry dough too. That would work. Let's do a little cleanup first though. I want to use that same bowl I used for the banana bread to make our pie dough. Good question, because the company, I believe, does multiple. Applewood. Yeah, bacon fat's yummy. Beyond the whole thing about, or going back to the whole conversation about fats and different fats, and I'm not 100% sure on the science of it because I don't know enough science to know. But I've heard both sides of this story now, and there is most certainly a conspiracy story that potentially makes some sense. Keep in mind I'm calling this conspiracy theory. Where all of a sudden, if you take trans fats out of the oils you're using in the majority of the products for sale, all of a sudden you start selling a whole heck of a lot more of American soy oil. Turning the flame down even further on the bacon because I want to keep cooking it, but I don't want to burn it. That's a rather wet bowl. We're going to dry that bowl out first. Depends on what I'm doing, Pentoad. If I'm cooking onions, if I'm doing any sort of saute action, I most certainly want that pan hot. However, times like rendering bacon, or if you're cooking duck breasts are amazing if you start with cold pan, cold flame, and a medium flame, and just slowly bring them up to heat, because you got to render out a ton of fat on those duck breasts before you can get to the point you get a nice sear on them. AI. That's what they say. They say it's AI. It's absolutely not face tracking. They just follow me everywhere. Oops, that wasn't what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Because I want to cheat and be able to see what's going on in the pan while I'm sitting here at the cutting board. Oh, you thought I did this for you? No, it is not. I am not an Apple user. Though there is software versions that do panning, tilting, and zooming, but usually they're all janky and like are very, I forget the proper term for it, but like stop action. Like they don't move smoothly. Does that mean our bacon's done? Shut up. Shut up. Quiet, timer. And we're gonna give that a little longer. Give it another 3 minutes. Those are actually looking quite nice for the short time at 350. No, not for an omelet. Well, at least not for a French omelet. French omelets, at least the way I was taught to make them, you're doing everything so quick that you have to have everything prepared ahead of time. And it is high heat, quick moving the eggs around. Like the highest you'll get that pan to go, because it's typically a fresh pan, but that's the, that perfect yellow French style omelet. On the other hand, you can do scrambled eggs basically either way. You can go low and slow if you need to for that. That's certainly the way that I did when I was doing banquets, is doing large curds. If you've ever seen one of those tilt skillets, it's like it's sort of like a combination of a skillet and a bowl at the same time, and it's like the same size as my counter here. You sit there with a spatula and just run back and forth, and just sort of, it feels like you're peeling up off the bottom. You can do the same thing in a pan at home. Let me put it this way. There are many things you can cook lower and slower, but you're not going to turn many tables doing things low and slow. And so if you want to do things the way a restaurant does, typically they don't have variants. It's just on full. You know, their ovens are all at 500. The ranges are just, you know, on or off. If you're lucky, they have a cold grill with their hot grill, but half the time now it's just on and there's a cold area. All right, we'll take that for the bacon. Bread needs a bit longer. But we have baked bacon. And that's coming from Mr. I like to cook everything low and slow. Pull all of those up off of the fat. So Chad, I discovered that they don't really sell just plain peanut butter ice cream. Like it's all either chocolate peanut butter or it's peanut butter with chocolate chocolate peanut butter cups, or what I ended up buying tonight, which is peanut butter with Butterfinger, which has probably got more waxy chocolate in it. But I wanted peanut butter ice cream, and the only peanut butter ice cream I could see at the store, and I went to 2 stores, was $9 or $10 Haagen-Dazs. For a pint, I was not going to do that. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this in the freezer to cool it down, and then we're gonna throw it into the refrigerator afterward a little bit. I added the extra bacon fat in here with this bacon that we're using for our stew tonight. It's probably more bacon fat than I need for my plans. Didn't end up using that. I haven't even gotten into cutting veggies tonight, chat. Not that there's a ton of veggie cutting. Just say no to fancy cabbage. They used to be $4 or $5 before inflation. You can find them for cheaper on sale, but that's sort of like retail. I don't want to ruin it for everyone, but I'm going to. Now that you've heard this song, you'll notice this song in all sorts of YouTube videos. Most certainly, Pento. Especially if you enjoy toying with things and trying different things and maybe making healthier ones and other stuff. Like, I wish I did more. I can't eat more. But Ninja Creamy, which I have over here in the corner, we gotta plan ahead for that. You gotta plan a day or two ahead for that. Like, I couldn't just make... Like, it isn't like the ones where you just keep the container frozen all the time. And then if you ever want to make ice cream, it's frozen for you. The way the Ninja Creamy works is you have to make up your, like, little mini pints and pre-freeze them. So if you buy more of the containers and it's a regular thing for you, you can have ice cream available all the time, but it requires prep. Or, I mean, if you really want to spend money, you could get a Pico Jet. But or is it a Paco Jet? Pico Jet? Paco Jet? I think the ones where you freeze the container, like I like the creamy, and I think it would be awesome for families that would maybe use it more often. You could have a couple of them frozen on a regular basis. As an individual, I think the like frozen container, that just leaving that in the freezer is probably the better bet. Yeah, we're getting to the point where a lot of this simple cultured stuff is almost better to make at home. If you're, willing to spend the time in your kitchen and dedicate it towards, lowering your food cost, you can do all sorts of things. You can make all sorts of drinks. You get into making sourdoughs and all complex breads and stuff like that. And you can get into doing things like your own yogurts and farm cheeses and making your own pickles. Make your own vinegar for your own pickles. That's when you really start saving money. Just making pickles, the vinegar is more expensive than the cucumbers. We rendered yet here, Bacon? I know I keep turning you down, but if you're a regular wine drinker, or especially if you're a regular wine drinker and you like your one type of wine, then the stuff that's starting to go or on the edge or didn't make it into the glass that night and you don't want to save it for tomorrow night, if you've got a vinegar mother, red wine vinegar is just that easy. You put it in a container and you let it go. If you're familiar enough with fermentation to have your own Scooby, making vinegar should be no issue whatsoever. For those fermented drink lovers. It's driving me nuts. I can't think of the name of the drink that you used a Scooby to make. It's essentially fermented tea, but here in America, we've turned it from something that is mostly disgusting in the Eastern world. Think about it's fermented tea. The origins on it are pretty. Kombucha, thank you. However, we've sort of reinvented that here in the U.S. to be, we add all sorts of fruit juices and other flavorings in there besides the tea, and we use good teas and turn that into something considerably more delicious than the original concept. Taters. You need taters. We need our taters that are trying to grow. Well, it depends on what you're comparing it to. The first couple of times I tried homebrewed beers, my knowledge of beers, like, my experience with beers at that point was basically domestic standard, you know, run-your-mill beer. Now that we've had this massive microbrewery, IPAs everywhere, growth, you can get a fresh beer locally in most places, and so you can have, you know, a decent fresh beer, and that is much better than, you know, standard Bud. But sort of like the gold rush made the general store man rich, or at least that's the tale. I think who's really getting rich here are the tank makers, because we are most certainly, if it hasn't already happened, going to see a massive bust when it comes to all of these small brewers. They're already massively consolidating the beer industry. By consolidating, I don't mean producing less, I mean less producers. That's what's happened in a lot of cases, JK, or they're forcing, right now they're doing a lot of forcing them into uncomfortable positions. Like, that's what happened with Lagunitas here in Petaluma, is they got, I think it's Heineken, basically bought a major percentage of their company, and then now has essentially taken it over. And I would guess that that wasn't 100% friendly. You know, I'm having pictures of like Wall Street movie deals. Yeah, AB InBev is not Bud. It's not Busch. It's not. I can't read that whole message. Real hard had beer tap and yeah. Well, we have to consider also too, like, a lot of people, the younger people I talk to, don't really think or realize that, you know, the whole idea of having fresh water, sort of a modern invention, or at least clean water. I mean, we've had sewers and water technology a long time, but actual clean water is a different thing entirely. We still don't have clean water in some places. But most people trusted booze more than water. And so beer and booze were what people drank. Quit beeping. I know you're not going to stop beeping until I push a button, but quiet. Hush. I'm going to give that another 5 minutes. You go back to the days like I'm thinking of Taxi right now, the TV show back in the day, and you know, is joking about drinking while driving and stuff like that. I've been watching a lot of older comedy lately. Not necessarily shows, but actual, like, comedy stuff. Like, I ran across a old Showtime comedy that, like, just listening to it, like, none of that show would be appropriate today. And they were just sitting there, like, I don't know why I went through it. Like, I was sitting there the entire time, like, you racist such and such. Oops, I stopped the music. I didn't mean to stop the music. We want the music. Don't we, chat? We want the music, right? The music's a plus here. I think that's all the potato I really want in this. I don't want to use all those. I don't know if they're going to fit inside of that. They might fall through my other sacks. I wouldn't say couldn't be made. I would say that the same jokes couldn't be made. But comedies are still possible. We just gotta, like, there's still decent comedians doing comedy work. You know, like stand-up comedians. It's just, we can maybe say that about the movie industry, because the movie industry doesn't seem to know what it's doing lately. Leaving all that flavor, most of the oil, but certainly not all of it. Let's see how our banana bread's looking, chat. We have some banana bread. Banana bread. Put the pastry dough back down in the fridge because we just wanted it nice and cold, not frozen. Why did I put those there? Those were supposed to be in the freezer. I bought frozen green beans for tonight, chat. I looked at the fresh green beans and was considering getting fresh green beans, and yeah, no. It's too late. Like, peas, green beans, all that stuff, it's amazing in spring. It's amazing right when it's at a peak, you know, availability, and it goes downhill quick. So I'm turning the heat back up over here. We're gonna add some flour in there with the bacon fat on the other side. I don't know if I think I posted in the radio station, radio channel and Discord. There's a new Dave Gilmour song released today. If anyone's Pink Floyd fans out there, he's releasing new music lately because he's releasing a new solo album lately, soon. And I'm going to add some half and half to my water here. So we got a creamy mixture here. We're going to have a total almost 2 cups because I ran short on half and half. Just under a cup of half and half with our water there. Add that into our roux. Give that a nice light mix up. This is going to be cooking for a while, so I'm not too worried if it's a little lumpy. We're not going to have any lumpy gravy issues here. Different camera view there, what we got going on. It's got enough pushback for me. I think it's cooked through. It's looking dry enough to me considering this. I was heavy on the amount of banana I put in this ratio of banana bread. My banana bread is heavy on the banana. But over on the stove, got another pan on the stove there where we're going to saute up our veggies to go in here. I just got flour all over me. Yay, I got flour all over me. What are we stirring? That is a roux with watered down half and half. Bacon fat roux with watered down half and half. So it's got some lumpiness to it, it's got some thickness to it, but it's going to be cooking for a while here, so we're not too worried about that. And it's got the leftovers from rendering the bacon, so that's what all the specklage and why it's not pure white. Right now it's sort of like a bacon cream gravy without any seasoning. But it's going to be the basis of our stew. Bacon and veggie stew. Give our onions some salt. If you got carrots, you go ahead and throw them in this recipe, but I didn't buy them extra for this to finish out my mirepoix. Paprika. And garlic. What was the scramble? I missed it. I missed the scramble. Been paying attention to the stove. Boysenberry. Boysenberry. Alright, gonna add these veggies in with the sauce now, or in with the stew. Oopsies. Getting messy, getting it over the edge there. Bacon, onion, celery, going to be potato, and eventually going to be green bean and maybe corn. We definitely don't need, like, I think I'm gonna skip the corn because, like, I definitely don't need more bulk. This is gonna fill out a pie pan. As you can see, we're getting quite thick here though, so I'm gonna add a bit more water to this. Let's go ahead and add those taters. those are going to thicken things up even further, so I'm going to have to thin that out further. I'm out of paper towels. No, they're over here. Come here, paper towels. You keep paper towels in your bedroom too, right, chat? I think I collectively heard half of chat just cringe now with that statement. I don't know, maybe chat is just permanently in a state of cringe after watching me for a while. This is going to have to cook for a while, that's why I've added so much water to this. We got to cook those potatoes down. I'm debating if I bother with a bottom crust tonight, chat, or do I just do a top crust on this stew? Because bottom crust means I have to cool the stew considerably more. I mean, basically bottom crust, you want the stew not to melt the butter. So you want the stew to be colder or the same temperature as your butter in your pastry dough. And so if you want a flaky bottom, you can't heat it too much. You can't get it hot. When it's still raw. There's a joke there somewhere. I don't think that one stuck. You had a little stickage in the corner there. Most certainly, JK. The thing is it's, first off, it wasn't considered cake, it was considered pastry. And two, that's like a customs like classification. Like it made a great news title, and I like poking fun at the fact that they have so much sugar in their bread that, you know, international countries don't even think it's bread. But like import, export, like customs, it just gets weird. You get all sorts of weird politics going on there, and how do they get this and not us, and why can you do this and not that, and you get into things like the US banning cheese mites because something that people have ate for thousands of years and used in recipes for thousands of years was now all of a sudden bad for us. It couldn't be that the US was having a spat with France at the time, could it? Ah, but when is it become a shell? Because a fair number of buns are made of nothing but flour and water. That's what a flour tortilla is made out of. Is it a pasta or is it a noodle? Or is it a dumpling? Are you seeing your complicated buns? This house is a weird combination of like savory onion, garlic, and banana. Despite standing in front of a like full pack of bacon that's been cooked. The potatoes are trying to stick, so I have to keep stirring it. No one in chat could filter out that word. Gonna add our bacon back into our bacon stew. I thought they were lying to me. I started up pulling those out. They're whole green beans, and just got a whole bunch of cut pieces when I first started pouring that out. I want cut pieces though, even though I bought whole ones. Isonolol going in. Perfectly good. I considered doing them too. I think frozen green beans, if you're doing something like a salad or something fresh, would be better than canned. turn the heat off now, because even though those beans are not cooked through, we're gonna cook them through in the like pie. Yeah, frozen, like, if you're after the texture, canned ones probably have a better texture than frozen, because freezing things breaks plant cell walls and very often destroys the texture. Now the next question is, do I just put the pie dough over the cast iron top, or do I put this in a different container? Do I have to use a pie tin? It's not, I mean, it's actually ingredient challenge night. I mean, we're sort of playing into Pie Week a little bit here. I'm ready. Depends how far you go into culinary school. They did basic plating skills. Well, we just did more plating skills in bachelor's. Most of that's probably actually changed too from when I was there. Like, they say, you know, if you're going 4 years to school, half of what you learned in the first 2 doesn't matter anymore. I think most of the stuff they probably taught me about plating school skills is probably outdated in the world of like Instagram was just like, Facebook was just barely getting going when I was there. Like, Facebook would still required college email in order to use it when I was in college. So but they very much did basics and plating skills, but we did more like the advanced courses in culinary that we did. There was only a couple. Most of the bachelor's degree was like management and other language and more academics than it was so much advanced cooking. But the advanced cooking class was very much focused on plating and the whole shebang, like start to finish. Like they figured you knew everything, and so you were costing out your own plates, you were designing your own plates, and then you were having your classmates judge you on your plates rather than a teacher or something like that. And primary thing that I was taught, JK, is height. Height. You want to build in 3 dimensions, and plates are flat. And that works for cameras too, because you're gonna take a shot at an angle, But beyond that, like we've got like so much is like Fran Adria was definitely a thing, and El Bulli and modern cuisine was a thing when I was there. But it was the whole tweezer chef was in its infancy in my mind. You had people like Alinea and them and similar artists. There was a whole blow up of restaurants that were doing all the mini flowers along with foams and all that. You can get into some really weird stuff with plating too. Like you get into stuff like Mugaritz type stuff, or like that. Is that the same restaurant where like they have you eat a dish that's sculpted after the actual chef's lips? And it's like so you like, yeah, there's some weird stuff in plating. There's a dish out there in the culinary world, in the restaurant world. The restaurant itself is known for pushing buttons and pressing the idea of this actually being art. But one of their dishes was they actually took a casting of the chef's lips and then fired it in plaster and serve a dish out of that they don't give you utensils for. So you got to use your tongue. Sorry, we gotta move the banana bread. It just can't be here right now. I think I finally gave a pie dough enough time in the refrigerator. I'm always rushing my pie doughs. a great one. Thanks for hanging out. See you on Friday. Since I'm just doing a top crust, I'm going to book fold this and try and increase our flakiness. And our layerage. And we're going a bit thicker with this since it's could be a top and bottom crust. But we're gonna go straight from this. Oven's already hot. I said cheesy, chat. Do we add cheese to this? I don't think that we really, like, it's creamy. There's cream. I'm not gonna add any extra cheese, chat. Now I really can't hear what's going on. I like nearly silenced my earbud that time. I see that scramble and I immediately thought vegetarian, even though there isn't a V. do a bit of an egg wash here with our off-center hold dough topping. Upping the oven temp to 400 from 350. I didn't see a lot of that actually, because I already typically buy premium eggs. I buy organic cage-free. And actually, I didn't see, like, there were some huge outages and stuff like that, but I only saw those outages and the real problems with the eggs at the major chains. Like all of the local places here, all of the farm markets, all of that, none of them had supply issues. All the stuff that was, being raised here in county, no problem whatsoever. All right, going into the oven 400 degrees with our egg washed, pastry topped bacon stew. And I think I'm going to take a short AFK chat. Not 15 minutes. Because that's only going to take about 15 minutes. In fact, I'm going to set it for 15. No, we'll set it for 13. And while that's doing its lovely cooking, I'm going to take a break. We'll come back and we'll make dessert, and then we'll play dinner.
Hello, may I come in? I am Chef Boyardee. Perhaps you have seen my picture on Chef Boyardee products at your grocer's. Today I want to tell you about a wonderful dinner for three. A dinner that only costs about 15 cents a serving. It's my own Chef Boyardee spaghetti dinner with meat sauce or mushroom sauce. It all comes in one carton. A full half pound of tender, quick cooking spaghetti, 10 full ounces of rich, tasty sauce, and to top it off, a whole can of zippy grated cheese. A wonderful food. So ask your grocer for Chef Boyardee spaghetti dinner with meat or mushroom sauce, won't you? And look for other Chef Boyardee's products. They're also delicious, they're also nourishing, and they help keep the cost of your meals down. Chef Boyardee's products are at best grocers.
Ask for Chef Boyardee's spaghetti dinner. Only about 15 cents a serving. Now, a new creation from Seal Test. Cottage cheese in ready-to-serve portions. Handy envelopes bring you brand new convenience and ease. Zip, it's open, quick and neat. Just the amount you need, the easy way to serve cottage cheese. The rest stays moist and creamy, ready for next time.
Are they handy? Cottage cheese in ready-to-serve portions.
So easy to use, quick, and no bother at all.
The rest stays really fresh, moist, and creamy.
Yes, serving cottage cheese was never as easy as this. Seal Test's new square package with handy, ready-to-serve portions. Zip, it's open, simple as can be. The rest stays moist and creamy fresh. You'll love Seal Test cottage cheese in new, ready-to-serve portions. Get some soon.
Everybody needs energy-packed Sunbeam bread. Yes, it's all aboard for fun in the park, but Junior hasn't got energy enough for fun. He'd sure like to ride that horse. Hey, what's this? An energy-packed Sunbeam sandwich. You bet every delicious slice of Sunbeam bread sure does pack a big energy wallop. There's nothing like Sunbeam Energy to help you stay on the beam. Now, look at them go. On Sunbeam Energy, they sure do enjoy life. Everybody needs the kind of real zip and zing pep that delicious Sunbeam bread gives you. Yes, stay on the beam with energy-packed Sunbeam bread. All day long, eat Sunbeam bread and renew energy as you burn it up. Eat delicious Sunbeam bread.
You are now looking at a slice of bread being spread with creamy-style Skippy peanut butter, as only Mary Ellen can spread it there. All right, now, as you look at that, don't want you to leave me, because I want to show you something, believe it or not, that a lot of people like even better. Suppose we were to take some fresh roasted peanuts here, and like Mary Ellen has been doing all evening, and putting them in a nut chopper here. Give a couple more little chugs, will you, please? Mm-hmm. I think that'll do it just fine. Now you find in there some just tiny little golden nuggets of roasted peanuts, and they are colossal. Now, I want to try something here. Suppose we were to take these, now let me try an experiment, do you mind, honey? And we'd sprinkle them over the creamy-style Skippy. Say, how is that, huh?
Ooh, that looks good.
It does look good. All I did that for was to tell you that you can get that and enjoy it anytime you want. You won't have to go through any chopping process either, because the Skippy people do that for you in chunk style. That's done for you up in the factory. Now, chunk style, you see, has sprinkled all through it very generously through the entire jar those golden little nuggets that you saw there, just about like that. So that's already done for you there. Now, of course, either style, whether it's cream or chunky, if you get Skippy, you are getting the peanut butter that stays fresh right down to the last spoonful in the jar. And so I make it very simple again. I want you to know that this is an honest fact.
If you like peanuts, you'll like Skippy.
Here's an amazing free offer for everyone who's overweight. Even if you've tried other methods and failed, you can still lose ugly fat fast. Yes, thousands can tell you that calometric control is the only safe, sure, effective way to reduce. Now, this package contains the Wonder 10-Day Diet that gives you 3 delicious meals a day, plus a bedtime snack, even includes a jog for your willpower. Yet you take only 3 calometric tablets a day. And here's the sensational free offer. A 30-day supply of wonderful calometric tablets. A certified $3.50 value when you buy the regular calometric way to weight control. You save $3.50. Now, that's a $7 value for only $3.50. A 50% saving. And how can you get your free bottle of calometric tablets? Well, just send in this calometric box top with your name and address. Your druggist will give you a postage-paid envelope already addressed to the calometric company. Now, don't lose hope, lose weight. Get calometric reducing formula at your drugstore. Send the box top in the free postage-paid envelope. Get your $3.50 bottle of calometric tablets free. Don't wait, act now.
Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat. Rice-A-Roni, everybody's got the beat. Started out where cable cars play this song. Now tried at home before very long. Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat.
From San Francisco, famous for food, comes Rice-A-Roni, the exciting new side dish. Here at last is a welcome change, a change from potatoes. Now you can serve Rice-A-Roni, a delicious side dish with meat, chicken, or fish. And you make Rice-A-Roni in minutes. Everything's right in the box. A packet of soup base, rice, and vermicelli that you brown in butter. Add the special herb-flavored broth, and in minutes, Rice-A-Roni. Fluffy, fragrant, a wonderful change from potatoes.
Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat.
Hey, new Kellogg's OKs. Note the improvement? They put a bear on the box, which improved it so much, they decided to improve the cereal, too.
Oh, come on, Yogi. Let's be serious about Kellogg's new OKs, okay?
Like the Space Bears say, hey, okay.
Well, first, how nutritious are Kellogg's new OKs? Well, they're made from oats. And of all grains, oats are the richest in proteins and rich in other bodybuilding essentials, too. In fact, some people consider it their duty to eat oats. Yogi. But now, with a really delicious oat cereal like Kellogg's OKs around, people can have their oats and enjoy them, too. Especially Kellogg's new OKs. For Kellogg's new OKs are crispier... Cripsier and toastier, and therefore tastier than ever. So for the best in oats, get Kellogg's new OKs.
The one with the bear on the box. Suitable for Freeman.
Now, at your favorite grocery store, the most amazing food wrap ever developed, Saran Wrap.
Have you tried Saran Wrap? It really is amazing. Saran Wrap is crystal clear plastic. It keeps everything you wrap in plain sight. And look, Saran Wrap clings like magic. It makes a neat package of anything you wrap, without strings or tape or rubber bands. Food stay fresh far longer and tastes better, too, because the flavor is locked in. Now you can prepare sandwiches for picnics and lunch boxes ahead of time and be sure they'll stay fresh and tasty. You see, Saran Wrap is a wonderful time saver as well as a food saver. Prove it in your own kitchen. Buy a roll of Saran Wrap today and you won't be without it again.
Get Saran Wrap at your grocer's. Saran Wrap is a product of the Dow Chemical Company.
Hello, chat. I be back. It's still pretty warm. It's still pretty warm. I was hoping it'd cooled down a bit more by now. You know, chat, I considered 2 recipes tonight, both with the idea that I was going to use up some of the walnuts tonight that I have on my shelf over there. Guess what I didn't put in the banana bread? Banana bread. bit more chew than I expected, especially being over on the banana. Like normally it's chews, you got too much flour there. Got about a minute left on our pie check. I have a counter of bacon. Where are you? Over here, Wiggles. I have a counter of flour and bacon. I am so glad I took that AFK, chat. I am so much more relaxed and cooler. I know I'm always cool, but like I'm not sweating anymore. Like I feel wonderful. So let's go stand over a hot oven again. Oh, that needs some more time. Okay, so we're making a sandwich. And I'm debating, like, can I do this as an open-faced sandwich? Can I do a little of this? And... be a little of that. And we'll just put the bacon here like we could stack it. I could use that sandwich hack and just saw the container, but nah. Get some hot water going here over my ice cream scoop. Got one of those ice cream scoops with a liquid in the handle. So the heat helps it do its thing. So I'm doing a parody of Elvis's favorite sandwich for my dessert tonight. And Elvis's famous favorite sandwich was a peanut butter, banana, and bacon sandwich. And so I am doing a banana bread, bacon, and peanut butter and candy ice cream sandwich. Ooh, that was a big hunk of peanut butter. I should have left that in there. I was thinking that was the Butterfinger candy mix, whatever is in there. So should I fold that into a sandwich, or can I leave this open? I think I should fold this, actually, now that I've made this. I think this needs some stacking in its life. It probably doesn't look as great straight on as from an angle now. And I'm gonna spin that now so that I can get a photo. Yes, I know stew is still in the oven. So I'm actually going to throw that in the freezer just to stay somewhat solid, maybe. Whose rule is that? Nope, we're still not there with that, chat. I actually want to give that a whole 6 other minutes. My mom was in a big family. Not a huge family, but a big family. And the story is that my uncles always got to eat whatever they wanted, sort of before dinner. It didn't matter if they went for dessert first, sort of a thing, because my grandmother knew they were going to clean their plates anyways. I'm poorly retold that story as it was told to me in the past. It made me... It was more like the other children in the family would not. Which included my mom. I'm just going all over the place with that. I'm just making it all sound horrible. Rest of the bacon into the fridge. What, you don't know what a whelk is? No escargot fans? No snail fans? No shellfish fans? Something along that line. I don't know if this time that I gave it this time, the 5 minutes is going to be enough still. Like parts of the crust were just starting to brown, but only like the parts like high up on the... Now that's a scrambled word. Now that's a scramble, yeah. Wow. Nice one, Justice Fries. Oh, wait. Why don't we do that? That's a little more pleasant, isn't that? That view? I didn't realize we were still on the angle cam. No, that still needs more time. It's boiling and bubbling, but it needs more color. And this is the time that I wish I had convection instead of convention oven. Because even though a convection oven is not going to cook things as well as an air fryer, it is going to do a better job of circulating that air trapped down underneath the top lid of the container, because all of it's all sunk down inside of the pot. I maybe should have started with the top on and steamed it and then did that. I don't know. Steamed it and then took the top off after it was mostly done to brown it at the end. Am I? I know where to find the answers. Even if it means getting a book out of my bedroom or looking up one of a couple specific websites. I guess I could break into dessert, but we're still on the light side, but I'm gonna take it. A couple of JK. Most of them did not turn out great because I'm not enough of a small details person, which is what most of those are. No, I skipped the bottom crust because it would have taken cooling it down. I have the same amount of crust there. It's just all on top because I didn't want to, as I was saying yesterday, the flakiness and what layering you get in a dough is from your cold butters or your cold fats. You can use lard if you don't want to use butter, or you can use, plant versions. But in any case, if you're putting that hot stew on top of that butter, you're going to negate the cooking that you're going to get from the oven on that. And it's going to end up most likely a lot more soggy, unless you put like an egg barrier or something in between. And so the only good way to really put a bottom crust on a pie is to have your filling cold when it goes into it. Let's get some photos. Cakey. Not always a bad thing. And even in the freezer, we have meltage with our dessert. So I'm glad I grabbed photos of that already. I think that was a pretty good night, chat. I think this is going to be a delicious dinner. I already know that the dessert is going to be amazing, considering purchased ice cream, bacon, and I already tried the banana bread, so that's going to be awesome. And then we got the pastry top bacon stew with potatoes, green beans, onions, celery, seasoning, and a cream sauce base. I think it's going to be delicious. Going to be back here on Friday. Friday night we're going to be doing somewhat similar type deal here, but we're going to be doing turkey, and it's going to be a little more poofy. A little more puffy. Pastry. So I hope you come back to join me. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week, everyone. Good night.